Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're checking out Psycho by Vezalius Bandage. This is a cover a lot of you have been recommending that I check out. So I'm ready to jump in, up URL as well. Let's just hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Strings and brass. Nice. Nice. All right, I already love the tonality we're using for his voice here. He's got like this slight like vocal fry on his voice, and you can tell there's a little bit of digital effect, but it's not obtrusive at all. So it's a very, very nice aesthetic we're starting off with here. Okay. Oh, okay. No interjection there. Bass supporting vocal. Nice. Nice. I like that. We tease the bass vocal with the support on the mid-main vocal, and then we lift that mid-main vocal, so we just have like that juxtaposition between like the high and the low tones, right? And then we come back in, and then we have that little like pop up from that main vocal to kind of like as a reference to the previous line, but just kind of keeping that energy going, which is very nice. Right there. I like that little percussive there. Okay. Bringing that bass up. Nice. Alright, little instrumental break. I like this. I like this a lot. I like that bend. Nice. That bass vocal matches his like he's going like kind of to the back of his throat. It sounds like he's kind of pulling back and then making a little more nasal with his voice, which matches really well with the like deep open bass vocal because you have all that contrast there, but it's just a subtle hint or a subtle accompaniment to that main vocal that helps it shine really. Nice. Are we gonna get one? Nope. Looks like we only do that once then. Okay. Interesting tonality there. Huh. That's an interesting like vocal demeanor. He has it like it's like he's sucking in air and like singing like that. It's it's kind of funny to hear. Okay. Nice growl there. Nice. 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 I really like the way he kind of sings those lifts. Like at that lift, I don't know if it's quite a vibrato. Let me go back actually. It's just kind of, he really holds those and he like projects very stable. He's very stable on those projections up high. Like he has a little bit of like not exactly vibrato, but it just kind of holds that note and like fluctuates a tiny bit, but it's not unintentional. It's very intentional with how he's projecting those lifts. It is a little bit. I suppose it is a little bit of vibrato on there, but I just like the way he's holding that, and then he doesn't let it drop the moment he hits that high note. He sits on it and then he comes back down. Nice. I also want to say I really love not only that like acoustic piano tonality, but also the percussive. The percussive has this like slight reverb on it. It's very open and it makes it feel very lively in the mix, you know, especially because we have that kind of like more muted nasal approach on the main vocal. It makes sense to have a very open instrumentation and a very like vibrant reverb. Not quite echo, but it has that very like it has this openness to the mix that the vocals can kind of still, you know, it's not like the vocals are completely suppressed or like nasal or anything. But it accompanies those vocals well because those vocals are kind of pulling back to his throat and getting a little more nasal. They have that contrasting demeanor to the instrumentation. Okay. All right, little switch up here. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. It's an interesting switch up to have. Very standard synth rise here. Sure, I'm down for it. That works. Okay. Okay. That was Psycho, covered by Vezalius Bandage. That last chorus, I didn't hear too much different other than kind of like the way we led into it and the way we came out of it. We had this nice bass. I actually quite like the bass tonality that we used for that ending right there. The switch up, I mean, this is more of an original composition thing, I'm assuming, but the switch up didn't really feel necessary, but I would have preferred if instead of the switch up, we had an evolution on the chorus. Like maybe add in another track, you know, maybe like a saxophone or something, and have it like play this like counter melody to the vocals. But I mean, hey, it still worked. It still did the job. I do think the suppression part was a little too long. I think the amount of like time you spend with the suppressed vocals is to me it's usually a negative. The more time you're spending with this like obtrusive effect on the vocals, the less time you're getting to focus on the vocalist's voice and how they project and how they sound. So to me, you want to keep that time as short as possible. So having this extended segment seems like counterintuitive to showing off the voice in the song. But I think the segment itself still served its purpose of creating this like switch. Because a lot of times, you know, there's really two main ways to sort of finish out a song. One is to like progress over time and have this big like finale, and the other is to have the switch up that kind of changes things up, and then you come back into the chorus and it's a little bit different because of that previous segment, and that's your finale. I feel like those are the two main patterns you see in a lot of songs, and this one was obviously the switch up approach, and I think it worked. I think it did the job. The synth rise felt a little bit like not, it felt a little bit out of place, just a tiny bit, because I feel like the song had felt although not too like varied, it still felt relatively unique. You know, it didn't feel like we were sort of latching on to any tropes too much. But I think that synth rise and that transition was very like cliche in the sense that it kind of detracted away from that like unique flavor of the song we've had so far. But this is all more of a composition thing, unless this was added explicitly for the cover. So I think as in terms of Chess Vezalius's performance here, I think he did phenomenal. This was super fun. His voice sounds super clean for pretty much all of it, and I really love the way he does his lifts and how he also does those bass supporting vocals. Those bass supporting vocals were very open, and although not quite as loud as the main vocal, obviously, they did the job. They had just the right amount of impact, I think, in the mix to add to the song without taking focus away from the main vocal, which is exactly what you want. And overall, his voice just sounds really clear here. I really love how much focus we have on his voice because it feels very open. Then he gets more nasal, and then he goes down low. He had that like one part where he kind of lifted up high. I believe it was towards the beginning. I'm not sure if I can find the exact segment, but it was really fun to hear. I really enjoyed it. I think it was around here. Let me check. Yeah, like just parts like that. It complements his voice super well. He sounds amazing there. So yeah, this was a 10 out of 10 from Vezalius there. Really loved what he did. Thank you very much for recommending that I check this out. And as always, feel free to recommend more things for me to check out in the comments below. Aside from that, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.